Hello and welcome to the Miscast table. My name is Måns.
And my name is Jonas. And today we finally get to present you the tournament video from Dalaslaget.
Yes, it is our second time going to Dalaslaget, or my second time.
My first.
Yeah, you had COVID last time, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and I didn't quite have an army prepared for it either.
Yeah. But we went, and not only us, we also brought two friends with us, Martin and André, both of which have been playing on the channel before. You can find some links to their games with us.
Yeah, and it was super fun to have this group together where we went into the tournament with this idea that we were gonna use a specific strategy for our list building and try to outsmart the competition.
Yeah, and but you'll see how that went, I guess.
It turns out there's quite a lot of really good players in Sweden.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good players. Yeah. And me and Jonas did a video a few weeks back where we went through our army. Jonas played Dogs of War and I played Empire. And we went through our lists, and you'll find that video in the description down below as well. So we don't bloat this one up too much with the list stuff. Yeah.
And the tournament was using both the Warhammer 8th edition rule set in addition to the Swedish complementary comp score system, which adds a penalty of sort to each or most units in every kind of army, so that you are allowed to build your list within certain additional boundaries. Yeah, where you need to not only take into consideration the units' individual cost, but also the comp score. The comp score,
yeah. And it's a great way of balancing these competitive events. So I think it's a great addition to the tournament.
It's a layer, and you get to build a plethora of different kinds of army lists. It's not that this comp score system boxes you into a few narrow types of armies. We saw a really wide variety of armies down there.
Yeah, there were a plethora of armies over there, and they were incredibly well painted.
Really well.
It was very impressive, and we will be showing some footage from that as well. We'll be showing footage from our trip there, the armies, the locale, the games, the award ceremony, everything that we managed to cram into this video here.
And hopefully raise the expectations for future tournaments.
Yeah.
So if you are interested in finding out more about the Swedish tournament scene, we have some links down in the comments where you can check out the Warhammer Sweden Facebook page, where you can get in touch with people if you want to reach out, play some games, or just interact with interesting people.
Yeah, and you definitely should. If you're thinking about going, you should, because it's so much fun.
Definitely.
But with that, I guess we should head into the video and take a look at how we made it to follow.
Yeah, let's do.
So, what's our problem right now?
Our problem is that we don't have any fuel. We have only 6 kilometers of gas left, and there's 9 kilometers until the gas station. So, we'll see if we run out of gas during this trip. Hopefully not, but if we do, it's just a kilometer or two until the gas station, so we'll probably make it out alive. But it's gonna be a bit annoying.
We have 0 range on the car right now.
Jag har inte fått så på torsken. Lugn. 2 kilometer. We made it! 0 kilometers. We still made it. Ooh, thank you, Khorne.
Nobody was concerned. And now we are rich.
We are rich. We can have the AC on max because we won't run out of fuel.
We also have
it all the way to high.
Cool seats, stereo,
living like kings. We have arrived at the hotel. So now we only need to sleep, and then it's time for the first games.
So this is my very first game against a fellow called Joachim. He was really, really friendly. And he was playing this Wars of Chaos army.
Yeah, they were a really popular faction this time. The second most popular after Vampire Counts, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and for a reason. I think they are really, really strong in 8th edition. And those Wars of Chaos with their really good armor save, and then they have Mark of Nurgle reducing the hit chance. That's powerful.
Yeah, that's really strong. But we had a lot of metal and some other fun stuff to deal with them.
Yeah, so I was kind of planning that this should be a matchup that I would be capable of handling. I had the Halfling Hotpot, which ignores armor save, so I was feeling kind of confident. Here we are at the start of the game. I have deployed kind of defensively. But
what does he have down there in the bottom? I can't really tell. It's
Dragon Ogres.
Oh, Dragon Ogres, yeah.
He is moving and positioning all of his units so that they will be able to charge me. If not the next turn, then at least the turn after that.
Yeah. And where does he have his banners in this game?
Since we're playing Blood and Glory, banners is really important, as is the general. And his Demon Prince is the general, and he has full command in most of his units.
Yeah, he probably is close enough right now to charge with the Demon Prince, right?
Yeah.
I'm expecting him to declare a charge. I haven't seen this game. I haven't seen this footage, so I'm kind of excited to watch this for the first time.
Yeah, and here I'm positioning my Bronzino in the front so that I can redirect one of the charges that he might make in the next turn. So that.
Yeah, I think it's kind of smart to throw him away like that.
Yeah, but it's like a 65-point model for me as well, so it's not ideal to lose them that early, but I was really feeling the pressure because next turn, when it's his turn again, I'm gonna be charged from all kinds of units.
Yeah. Alright, what spells are you casting here?
I think that this time I am lining up the Comet of Cassandor.
Yeah, it looks like it. You have your signature markers lined up. You put it behind the tree, right?
Behind the tree, because he has 2 units there, which is gonna be able to break my ranks, if you would say, if they get past. And those knights are really expensive, those Chaos Wars are really expensive. So if he goes straight forward, he's gonna be ideally placed for taking the Comet straight on top of him.
Yeah. And now we're getting into the meat of things. Are you looking for the Comet underneath the table? Or?
Throwing some hot pots, shooting some stuff, trying to deal some damage. And the crossbowmen are actually, they were a much better unit than I had early anticipated when I went into this match.
Yeah.
Those were probably putting out the most wounds. Actually.
Yeah, and I played against those, and those are mean.
Yeah, like range 30. That's good stuff.
Yeah, and here we have some combat going. You are in combat with Bronzino.
No, it's my Birdman of Catrasa.
Yeah, but you have that guy in the charge.
He took the charge.
Yeah, and the Birdmen are they gone?
They are gone.
Yeah,
the riders just went into them and annihilated the Birdman.
Yeah. Did you get the charge? Or did he get the charge?
He got the charge.
Oh.
I positioned them so that I thought he would allow me to fly past him, so that he wouldn't want to waste a turn dealing with them. But he just went into them and then
then you have trouble. The same with the knights. Did he get the charge with the dragon over?
He succeeded. I got one chance to charge him. Yeah. Because if I would have managed that charge, I would have positioned myself so that it would have been outside of the flank of the Demon Prince, dealing all with his Dragon Ogres. But I failed charged, and then he got into my...
Yeah, that was all rough. Knights are super strong on the charge, but when they're not on the charge, strength 3, that's the problem.
I'm just removing them.
Yeah, I'm just removing them, yeah. And he's moving up with his Chaos Warriors. I can't remember what the guy's name is, the guy in purple.
Sheikh Yaduf.
Sheikh Yaduf, yeah. Really cool model.
But it's really, really like... I'm playing with the best version of the comp list, which dictates that he should be placed on a 20 by 20 base. Yeah. But he isn't allowed to join either the pay cart or the Bodymaster's the Paymaster's bodyguard. So he's kind of like... I don't know how you should use him optimally. So he's just out there roaming the field. Yeah,
but your comment did some work, right? Because he doesn't want to move up with his...
He recognized the threat, and then he positioned himself back on turn. I, however, lucked out, and the comment was delayed, so it hasn't landed yet.
But that's really good. That's kind of the effect you want. Like if you can't deal the damage, you delay him for 2 turns, at least 1 turn.
Yeah.
That's really good. Really, really good.
But as you see, he killed Bronzino, but he didn't overcharge. He just repositioned his warriors, meaning that I didn't really feel that I could make that good charge, and instead I made a poor repositioning and allowed him to get the flank charge on me and the heads up charge on me.
Yeah, but that was a really long charge he made. That must have been quite a roll, right?
It wasn't like I think it's more my bad positioning than abnormal dice rolls. So I think that most of the dice rolls in our game were really fair, actually.
Yeah. And you have your general now in the middle of the table. Right?
Yeah. I took the calculated risk of positioning her so that she wouldn't be anywhere near any charge arcs, so that I could at least keep her alive, try to get some comets in. Was banking on possibly getting the early breaking point. It's probably around here that I realized that I've made some poor decisions leading up to this stage of the game.
Yeah. The first game is always tricky because you're not really used to it and you have some nerves and
one of the things that I wholly miscalculated was that I thought that spearmans or pikemans rather, they get to fight in 5 ranks, meaning they should be able to roll a ton of dice. And thus possibly dealing a ton of damage, but turns out they are kind of fragile.
Yes.
So
they got wiped out here by Chaos Warriors.
Chaos Warriors killed me, and they were as you can see, they are just churning through all of my units right now. I have the pay cart left. He has his eyes set on my crossbowman up there on the hill.
The Sheikh is still alive.
He is like decoration.
Yeah. But he has some ability, right? His cart works like a 6-inch battle standard.
The pay cart is an additional holy ground stuff, so that you get to re-roll leadership. And that's a really good thing to have because all of my guys have at most 8 leadership.
Yeah.
He completely devastated me, whilst I did manage to land that comet, you see that there are some horses and Chaos Warriors missing at the edge of the table. He still managed to get that 20-0 victory, not only from crushing my general and all my breaking points, but well deserved from how he fought out the game.
Yeah, that's a rough one. In a bad spot.
But it was the first game and I had a blast still. I mean, the result is secondary to being here and playing. I thought it was super nice. He taught me some of the good things about how I should think about forward steps. When you move units, do think about your next upcoming turns, and showing me the strengths of some of the Chaos Warriors.
Yeah.
Both theoretically and in practice.
Yeah. It seemed like a fun game, and it's fun seeing these matches for the first time.
So let's take a look at your first game.
Yeah, we should. Alright, so here we have my first game. I'm playing against Andreas, or Steinar as he's called. One of the guys from 10 Island Gaming. I'm gonna put a link to their channel in the description, and we have their logo on the screen right now. I played some of the guys from 10 Island Gaming before, but not this guy. And he's playing a Tomb King's army. And we're playing the same scenario as you just played in the game.
We mentioned that there were a bunch of Wars of Chaos armies, but there were a bunch of Tomb King players as well.
There were 3 Tomb King's armies present, and this was one of them.
Did he have Arca on the Black? Because I know that there were some guys feeling that.
No, this guy did not have Arca on the Black, but they had the
Screaming Skull catapults I'm seeing there, the swings.
And also the
Casket of Souls.
Casket of Souls, and that's a super dirty one. And here you can see me going up with the knights here on the side, because you have one banner in the unit there in the top right. So I'm trying to take that one out. I'm really afraid of his big unit here in the middle, because those guys are really, really tough. There's some tomb guards, and I don't think I can fight that unit with anything that I have on the table, to be honest.
Not even your great swords and the warrior priest, if you get everything right.
No, okay, I don't think so. That's a super nasty one. And he's playing quite defensively. He's having everything down in his corner and covering it with the strong units from the front here.
But that might be to your advantage, because then you get some more shooting in, and you have quite a shooting and magic heavy list.
And here you see I lost my Luminarch of Hysh. It got targeted by the Casket of Souls and needed to take a leadership test, and it was taken out. And there I failed the charge with my knights, which was a bit sad. It kind of delayed me for a turn. And he's definitely coming in strong here in the bottom half with his swings, and he has his chariots. And I'm definitely feeling the pressure here. I have most of my banners in the top half of the screen here. You can see my halberdiers and my knights. I'm not that worried about losing to breaking point, but I'm definitely a bit afraid of him just coming around here and taking out my entire army.
And there I saw your outriders killing his mounted archers.
Yeah, but those guys are really weak. They should win that fight. Here I'm running.
That's a fight that you're not used to seeing all that often.
Yeah. And here we have the Necro Swings was charging my handgunners there, so I fled with them.
Yeah, it looks like he is diverting his resources to the upper side of the table. Like he has probably won the lower side already, it seems like.
Yeah, and I have the upper hand right now on the top side, but now he's turning his things around. And I don't want to fight that big unit that is moving right now. Those guys are tough.
Yeah, but there's still a good deal of distance between you, so that you get your shooting in, and you have your outriders there like piling on the shots, and your rifleman has rallied.
The problem is I finally get in with my my cavalry, but I felt like 2 charges there to get them in, so that was a bit sad.
But you got a double. Like you got your flank charge in and your heads on.
Yeah, but now I'm gonna win that and get out of the way before I get charged in the flank by his big unit there. But here you can see also his Necro Swings and his chariots is closing in here at the bottom. So yeah, that's gonna be a bit rough. But I have my great swords there, and as you know, those guys are no joke.
They are certainly not, and I think they could handle the chariots. I don't know if they can handle the swings. The swings seems like it's gonna have a field day with that.
Yeah, and here I took out one of his banners, and he got into combat with my greatsword with both his swings and his chariot.
Yeah.
But those guys are stubborn, so I'm probably gonna lose combat since he gets the charges.
Yeah, he's gonna.
But they still stand.
They
still stand.
So he's probably not gonna be able to deal any more, like get into any more combats.
Yeah, and here I try to juke him out as well. I'm gonna try to charge my horseman, my cavalry, into his Casket of Souls, and basically just slip past his big block here. You're gonna see in a while.
So that's pretty cool.
So I don't have to fight them, and I get rid of that dirty thing, because it killed both one of my Hellblast, the Waller Guns, and my Luminarch of Hysh. And it's causing me all kinds of problems.
Yeah, it's such a awesome unit.
And here I fled even though I had Stubborn on my greatsword, which was super sad. But I did get the charge on the Casket of Souls here on top.
Yeah, so but you're really banking on being able to overrun.
Yeah, kill it, overrun, and be out of the arc. That is, of course, the play here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see if I make it in a second or two. Here I'm shooting with my mortar on top of his big unit here. But things are like not going great, but not terrible either. And I kill it, I get the overcharge, and now he has to reform to try to catch me. And what happens after this, we have kind of the final, a picture of like the final state of the board here. What happened is I managed to, the camera died, but I managed to get my charge into the Screaming Skull Cannon, and I took that one out.
And then you overrun again.
I overrun again, and he tried to charge me with everything. But I just ran out into the corner and hid because it was the round 6, so he couldn't really get to me. What was a bit sad is that even though I had some chances to hit with the greatswords, even though they were stubborn, they decided to run away. In the end, none of us broke, but I lost on points in the end.
Okay.
I had a comp score of 18, and I think he had a comp score of 17, and I lost 8-12. But I still feel like this was a decent game. This could have gone either way. If I would have been able to kept my war machines for a few more rounds before they got taken out by the casket, or if I managed an earlier charge, then things might have been different. So it was a close game. It's a really fun guy, this Andreas. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, everyone
playing
I
together.
played with at the tournament was a pure pleasure
Yeah,
being up
so
against.
I really hope we can play some time again, and hopefully then the result will be different. But
That's a revenge on that.
Yeah. But all in all, it was a great first game.
Yeah.
Alright, so after the first round had concluded, I lost my first game 8-12, and André managed to win his first game.
Yeah, 20-0. But there were a lot of people that got that result, 20-0. And I think like the breaking point where you got 800 points, if you manage to secure that, they could really tip an already won game over the edge and then get the full 20-0.
Yeah, there was more 20-0s than there usually is in a round. So, but André went 20-0, and that's nice with his Chaos Wars. Yeah.
Since I had a bye in my second game, let's take a look at yours.
Yeah, so this is my second game. I played against a guy named Albin, and he had a really cool Vampire Counts army. Unfortunately for me, it had a lot of ethereal units as well, and those guys are tough to deal with if you don't have that much magic attacks.
Remind me, which magic schools did you bring? Which lores of magic?
I had Lore of Metal and I had Lore of Life. And here you can see he's closing in quite quickly with his ethereal units on the bottom.
Yeah.
And he also have some dogs closing in here.
But did you get the Ornament spell, which allows you to get magical attacks?
No, I did not get that one.
Okay.
But I dealt with them the old-fashioned way. I charged in with a big unit, and I just win on combat resolution, and they crumble away. And here you can see at the top, I've already taken out some of the dogs or some of the ethereal units, and now I'm getting really close to charge into the black coach here in the back. He also has a banshee that's moving up somewhere here up in front of the house, and he's gonna try to scream at my Hell Blaster Polygon in the house. You can see it's deployed on top of the house, but it's actually inside of the house.
I remember going through there and that. Is this?
Yeah, a lot of people are. Is that on top of the house? Like no, it's in the house. But
it's a good marker.
Yeah, there's not that many people that play with deploying in buildings and the buildings rules. I found out most people that I played against were not using the rules for buildings.
Yeah, and we'll get into that in my second game, like in the third round, because I think building rules are really cool. I really do like them. They might be so that they favor certain armies. I wouldn't exactly know. It's not something that comes up regularly in each and every game, but I think that they add like tactical elements to the game that some people probably like and other people just find annoying.
Yeah, I agree. So here he's closing in towards my house with his unit as well.
He can't charge your general and your knights with the black coach.
Yeah, I think he charged or I charged, but either way it's gonna end poorly for his black coach.
Okay.
And he charged one of my units with his ethereal units, but I'm gonna do a counter charge on those guys soon enough, and it's gonna end really poorly for those. So in this game I kind of feel in control. I'm gonna win all of the smaller combats here, and I'm gonna take out the black coach very, very shortly.
But he still has his main army in the center.
Yeah, he still has the main army, and he is. This is one of those objective holding ones. One of those games, and he is holding. I think he's holding 2 of the objectives right now. So I'm kind of gonna get in there and clean up, but I'm gonna try to get around with my knights here from the back.
But you might have like a defender's advantage from having a higher comp score, right?
Yeah, I have a bit of a higher comp score, but I don't think it's that significant. I'll try to do.
It's kind of even still.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do a charge here with my knights, like coming kind of around the rock here, and I get in with all of my charges here, and getting charged in the rear with the ethereal units. Those guys are just gonna crumble away.
Yeah, especially with all the banners and everything in the combat.
Yeah.
But he still managed to deal some damage, it seems like.
Yeah, he's dealing some damage, and he's taking away some stuff, and he's also held more objectives. So I kind of gotta have to kill as much as possible as quickly as I can. So we can't get too much points for holding the objectives. And now he's turning away to get into my knight unit here to defend his big unit, because the unit in the middle here is where his vampire lord is, and that guy is no joke. That can be sure about.
I'm somewhat familiar with the Vampire Lords being mean as...
But I'm really happy that I've gotten the ethereal units out of the way. They're not super strong, those knights, but they're really annoying when you can't deal with them. And here I get into with the double charge on his unit with his Vampire Lord. So I'm feeling really confident at this point. I'm moving up with my halberdiers.
One of the units is Outriders, and they're not like top tier.
No, they're not, but they get a flank charge, which gives a decent amount for the combat resolution. So yeah, a lot of fighting is happening here in the middle. And I'm also moving up with my great swords here in the middle. I'm gonna kill the dogs here and then move in through the forest and try to get on the objective over there. And this is kind of the position we end up with for the rest of the game. It's kind of gonna be like a long stalemate here. The thing is that I managed to catch up to his guys here in the like closer part that's in the forest, and we duke it out with his Vampire Lord and stuff there in the top. And I actually managed to get it down, so there's only the Vampire Lord and 2 Graveguard remaining. I think they're called Graveguard.
Yeah.
But after that, he managed to get like a really big invocation of Nahek, it's called, right? And get them all back. It's like a war of attrition. And the problem is when you have charged with the knights and you're hitting in turn 2 and you don't have the strength of the lances, it's an entirely different game. Things are very, very different.
Yeah, then you're basically left to your lord against his lord, and
So this is like an endless battle here on the top. I kill some, they come back. I kill some, they come back.
But your guy seems to be standing still, and the Graveguards should be capable of like killing off your knights.
Yeah, they should, especially with the strong lord as well. So I'm slowly losing all of my knights. You can see more and more going away.
There a big chunk of them fell off the table.
Yeah, and here you can see I'm getting into combat with these are crypt ghouls, and they're basically all of them gonna die. And I managed to charge into the back here. You can see there's almost no Graveguard left. And I'm gonna manage to charge in here in the back with my halberdiers as well, very, very shortly. But the thing is that his Vampire Lord is too strong. Like, I can't manage to kill it, and all the time it just comes back. And what happens in the end is that I charge into his rear with my halberdiers, and I actually lose combat, even though I charge in with the rear, because he kills too much with his Vampire Lord and I can't kill enough. And my halberdiers and my knights run away. And
in the last turn.
No, he kills the knights and my general. The halberdiers run away. He runs and catches them with his like general and 2 Graveguard, and they die. And even though I kill like
almost his entire army,
almost everything else, it's still a 10-10 because he held the objectives in the beginning, and I somehow managed to lose the combat without killing his general, and I lose like 450 points.
That sounds like a super fun game still.
Yeah, it was a really fun game, but it was like grasping for defeat in the clutches of victory, because I should probably have won this game, but I managed to mess it up in the end. And some was like tactical errors, some were like dice rolls. It was a super fun game, but I was a bit salty after losing that way. The Vampire Lord is never dying.
If you would calculate it in hindsight, would you have won the game if you hadn't charged with the halberdiers and just kept them?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so then...
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so then it might have been the case that you shouldn't have tried to fight it out.
No, but I was so sure that I was gonna win it with the combat resolution and all of that, but I couldn't hit anything against his Vampire Lord. He hit a lot against me, and yeah, I just lost it. But in hindsight, if I hadn't charged with the halberdiers, I would have won that game.
But then again, on the other side of that argument is that it's a tournament. You want to have as high a win score as possible, because that we were playing for battle points.
Yeah, it wasn't number
win or loss results.
No, it wasn't wins or losses. It was the points. So I for sure thought that I picked the Vampire Lord up, like just scoop it up, easy peasy, and it was not easy peasy. But the guy I played against, Alvin, he was a really fun guy. The game was really fun. Yeah, he was really good sport, and even though we had the long fights here in the middle, it was lots of fun. So I'm happy with that 10-10. Gotta take it. It's not a loss. So.
Yeah. Correct, you are.
So after round 2, you have gained your first win. I gained my first draw.
So, easy win for the dogs.
Things are looking good. But in the top we have Daniel, one of the arrangers of this tournament, playing Lizardman with 37 points.
Yeah, as I remember it, he had a really colorful Lizardman army.
Yeah, André called it Monster Party because he had like 5 or 6 monsters. It's quite fun.
It was actually awesome to see.
Yeah, it looked like a really fun army. In second place we have Jakob with his Beastman at 35 points. And third place we have Anton L at 33 points.
Yeah. And we were banking on André, bringing home some victory points, but he had a rough second game with a 5-15 result.
Yeah, so he's now at 25 points. I got a 10-10, so I'm now at 18 points.
Martin had a rough second game as well. The dice weren't really with him. Those leadership roles he mentioned.
Yeah, he lost 18-2, I think. So I think he's at 4 points or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are fighting on.
Heading into my third game, I had a bye in the second. This was actually my favorite game from the tournament.
We see some familiar scenes as well. I played on this table as well. my last game.
Yeah, and whilst this was my favorite player to play against, Jimmy A, he was a total gentleman. I thought we had a blast here. We had, unfortunately, some hiccups with the memory card when we were retrieving the footage, so I didn't get out all of the video data. So we're looking at a still shot after the deployment.
Yeah, and this is a battle line game as well. And may I ask, I deployed in the house my Hellfire Cannon. Were you playing with the building rules here?
Yeah, we were, and this is probably one of the things that I regret the most about the tournament. My opponent Jimmy didn't really think that we should play with the building rules, and I somewhat talked him into it. I think it's a fun part of the game, as you mentioned earlier. It adds some versatility to some units that are perhaps too weak to be left standing alone on the table. Like if you can get your crossbowman into a house, it's a really beneficial defender's advantage. Being in the house, even though you're useless in regular combat, because you get all those added bonuses of disregarding basically all of the rules, and you're getting steadfast. So it comes down to really unlucky dice results if you're going to be evicted from a building.
Yeah, you have great defender's advantage in the buildings.
And you have those raiding parties, so you are never really at risk of losing your whole squad either. You're just sending in teams that fight against each other. But I do somehow figure that perhaps it's good if more people play with the building rules. It's like a significant part of the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like out of all the groups that were present, we are probably the only ones that played regularly with building rules, as far as I could tell.
It's like 5% of the rules book.
Yeah, but most people don't. At least here in Sweden, most people don't.
Yeah.
And I feel like more people should, because I think the rules are fun. But I get as well, because I also had to angle a bit in the first game. I wanted to place my Hellfire Cannon in the building, so I was the one who proposed that we should play with building rules, and it feels a bit like angling, if you know what I mean.
I had some regrets about that. So sorry, Jimmy, if you're watching this. I still think we had an awesome game. But starting out, he had a really cool army, as you can see. They were really popping on the table. Those lush green bases and those heavy red armors, the beastie gores, the
Khorne. I see those. They look really cool.
Yeah,
gore boars. They're really cool.
Yeah, and then the chariots, and he had a Cygor at the top side of the army, and I was kind of worried about that unit. It has a gruesome aura that messes up spell casting 100%, but it can also act as a stone thrower, so he was out there lobbing big boulders at my guys all over the game. But since we don't have the video footage, I'll talk you through the game. His game plan is basically advancing all of his 2 core big units, and I am there trying to stop him. So we had a bit back and forth where I tried to position my pikemen so that this choke hold between the pillars are ensuring so that I can't really be charged in the flank. So if he wants to fight me, he has to fight me heads on, and then I'm gonna be like in a prime position to only have to worry about that unit and possibly win by my superior ranks and try to get some augment spells in.
Yeah. Did you try to push something through that narrow crevasse?
It was too narrow for any unit but my flying birdman, as you see in the lower left side. And Jimmy was playing with a lot of Angor Raiders. So after the big units had marched over the field, there were some secondary combats going on between my birdmans and his chariot and 2 units of Angor Raiders. And we were trying to position ourselves all over the his part of the field so that neither of us got into a bad charge, and so that he could each turn try to shoot at my birdman. But they are really, really hard to shoot down because they are skirmishers, which subtracts 1 for shooting at them, and then he always had to move his fighters so that he could line up a shot against them. So he had -2 from that. Each time you try to fire at them. So it's really, really hard to shoot them down. And then you had to wound as well, and he only has short bows on those Angor Raiders.
Yeah. Did you get off any comments in this game? Any Cassandoras raining down?
There were some comments actually. It was probably the single thing that I did really, really right when I built this list. The comment is awesome. Bronzinos Galloper guns are really good as well, but I think that the spellcasting aspect was probably much stronger than my units. Because the problem with Dogs of War isn't necessarily that their units are bad, it's that they cost a ton. One spearman with, or pikeman with strength 3, toughness 3 can cost above 11 points for 1 model.
Yeah, that's expensive.
Yeah, that's really, really expensive. Going on in the lower side of the table is as well a standoff fight between my knights that are off camera and his chariot and Angor Raiders, where he tried to bait me and tried to hinder me from getting up. But my point about the knights are basically to keep them in reserve. So if he does push that big block through those narrow gap, I'm going to leave enough space so that my pikemans are going to be able to hold 1 round, and then I'm going to flank charge him with the knights. And their lances is going to make sure that I might have a fighting chance of winning that combat.
How big are those blocks? Are those 40 or 50 man blocks that he has there, the 2 big ones?
50 man block.
Yeah.
So it's a ton of Angors and Beastmen fighting. And here is the part where I make that fishy stuff. Because he is primed, lined up to finally take on my crossbowman. And he has his Doom Bull up there as well. And I sneak past, get into the house. And since neither of his units have the house in their charge arc, the crossbowmen get out of there.
Yeah, they can run away.
Yeah.
But that's a thing you can end up if you're not used to playing building rules. And that's... I think the tournament is greatly arranged and all that. No stuff like that. But I think maybe you should have determined beforehand, this is a house that you can.
Yeah, there were rules that specifically mentioned that you should each come into agreement with what each terrain piece should be, and possibly move any terrain pieces that were obstructive.
Yeah.
But I do think as well that clearer guidelines on how you should consider houses, Triple Crown does it so that each house is a defined size, so that regardless if they look different, they all act the same way. This is a 2-storage building, and you can.
Yeah, but we're playing Triple Crown the next tournament.
Yeah,
so that's good. Then we have spoilers. Then we have the buildings defined. So I think that's gonna be really good, and hopefully people won't be caught off guard with me deploying in buildings and you running into buildings.
Yeah, but he is actually winning on the top side. He is getting in over to my side of the table. His gore beasts are really powerful. By now he has wiped out my second spearman unit. My galloper guns is kill off, so I'm left with my hot pot and my core unit of pikemans at the lower side and my knights. And we basically have this standoff for the remainder of the game. And even though I was defending, he was starting to push through, and we end up with a score of 9-11. So he narrowly takes it, and that's possibly thanks to him in the later rounds managing to kill a couple of really expensive units for me.
Yeah, but it seemed like a fun game.
This was a really, really fun game, and especially the Birdman fight in the back that really made a high point of the day for me.
High IQ plays, yeah.
Yeah,
but those kinds of games are fun.
Yeah, they are.
Alright, so here we have my game 3, and I'm playing as Mikael. And for those who remember the last video, I played him the last game of the last tournament. And he's playing basically the same, not exactly the same list, but a very similar lists of High Elves. And when I got the announcement when I was gonna play Mikael, I got a pit in my stomach. No, he's a really fun guy, really fun to play against, but I have some bad memories because I know that his list is incredibly strong, and I know that his shooting is very strong, and I know that his eagles are very strong. So I was really afraid going into this game, I must say. And here I probably make a mistake. I put my cavalry in stuck in the corner here, and well, you're gonna see in a minute I kind of get boxed in and can't really get out. And his shooting is super strong. Like you see here, he basically boxed me in here. Because if I charge his guys here, he's gonna be able to get the charge on me the next turn.
Okay.
I'm kind of in a stalemate where I don't want to charge his horses there, because I'm gonna end up in trouble.
Don't you think that you need to?
I'm gonna see what happens here soon. But I'm gonna do in a while, I guess. And he has his eagles closing in, and he's shooting in the top half here. You can't see because of some of my units are behind the tree here. But he shoot on my units, and I had to take a panic test. And I failed the panic test time and time again with my handgunners and stuff. And when I do, the panic spread to my war machines, and they also fail their panic test and hide under me.
So you don't get to shoot.
Yeah, I lose 2 turns here where my war machines can't shoot because of different kinds of panic tests. And I'm horribly boxed in here in the back, so things are looking a bit rough, to say the least. And he has some really strong magic phase and stuff as well.
And he manages to get his knights around.
And now I'm definitely boxed in here. I'm gonna try to make a charge on the light cav here closest, and see if I can maybe overrun into the eagle or off the table.
Because overrunning off the table isn't the worst.
No, you just come back the next turn. So, but there's a lot of
there is one iffy part about that, because if you're gonna overrun into the eagle, he is still gonna that combat is gonna happen the next turn, so he is gonna be able to flank charge you.
Yeah, and during this game, my dice rolls were. You shouldn't blame the dice, but this game was actually horrible. I don't know if you remember me talking after the game that I was gonna sell my dice.
You were starting to mention that in each and every time. My dice.
Yeah, I was thinking about giving them away here for a while, because I failed so many leadership tests, like panic tests, and I have a charge here against. The only thing he has left here in the middle is his general and his battle standard bearer. And I have the opportunity to charge them here, and it's not a far charge. I need a 6 or something, but I'm not gonna make that charge.
Okay.
But he played really good. I boxed myself in. You can see here I've been charged in the flank by his horses, and as a result here I'm also gonna lose my general. And I don't manage to kill that much. I managed to kill his dragon knights with a big spell from the Lord of Metal, the signature spell, because they have they have armor, 2 plus armor save, something like that. But that's gonna happen soon enough. He's gonna make short work of my cavalry here in the back, and we're gonna start moving into the middle, because I still have my big infantry units left standing here. You can see our generals are
fighting it out. You had that really, really nasty sword of yours.
Yeah, but I lost that combat, unfortunately, in the end. And now I don't have that much remaining, and his victory is pretty much guaranteed here. But he's gonna see if he can get even more stuff.
Additional points. Yeah.
So he's closing in from all corners, and I have my eye sets on an eagle, and I have some small stuff. I'm thinking I can pick it off and maybe bring back some points at least. But my chance of winning at this point is basically gone, since I lost too much stuff basically, and he hasn't lost much at all. And when he had his battle standard bearer and his general here in the middle, I tried to cast spells against them as well to kill them, and try to shoot against them to kill them, but I didn't manage.
Yeah,
and they just ran away. And they managed to get into the unit here of the Dragon Lances. Of all the players I played against before, Mikael is probably one of the best at movement. He's super good, especially with his fast cav, and I learned probably most from the game I played with him last tournament about movement. And this game as well, he really...
You're not gonna get boxed in again.
No, and he always outmaneuvers me. So he's very good with movement, and as you can see, it pays off. In the end, here I get charged by like 1,000 things. In the middle, I get charged from both flanks. I think I get charged in the rear. He fails to charge in the front, but. Things are just getting picked off left and right here. So
like when you get down to the combat resolution, then you can lose a ton of additional stuff.
Yeah, but what happens here in the end is he basically kills all of that stuff. But then I get off a big version of the... What's it called? Searing
Doom.
Searing Doom. I cast the big version to get like 2d6 armor hits. And I think I kill like 6. No, I think I killed 9 of his Dragon Knights. So I basically wiped them out.
That's a ton of points.
Yeah, so that's a big, like, small comeback at least.
Minor upside.
Yeah, it is. But the game is definitely lost. And it's well deserved. He did outmaneuver me, definitely. Oh, that's nice. And then the game is over and we count points. And in the end, I did lose this game. Yeah, so I lost this game 15-5, which is the same as last year. So I can't seem to beat this guy. And the eagles should be hunted for sport. They're terrible, absolutely terrible. And the shooting of the high elves is as disgusting as always. But actually, I misplayed Searing Doom here, or we misplayed, because the Dragon Knights, they have a ward save, I think, against
Fire Magic.
Okay. And so they should actually have like maybe a 3+ ward or something like that.
Yeah, I missed that on against the Chaos Dwarfs as well. They have like some 5+ ward save against fire.
So I shouldn't have been able to do that in the end, but I still feel happy that I did. And now we're 1-1 in cheating, so we have to see the next time we play. If
we can tally up some more.
Yeah, we can play a game without making some mistakes.
Luckily for us, we still had André on our team, rooting for him with his Chaos Dwarfs, playing a kind of like interesting defensive list.
Yeah, he's playing super defensively, a lot of shooting.
But André always puts like 110% into planning, and it was kind of fun seeing him execute it at the table as well.
Yeah, right now he's at 41 points, and the leader of the tournament is at 52, so he's quite close behind.
Yeah, Vampire Counts in the lead, followed by Lizardman actually.
So he's in the running still for the win of the tournament. So.
And I noticed a kind of like awesome list as well. There was this other Empire player that was playing a list kind of similar to yours as well.
Yeah, he was Karl Ekeros. Yeah. And he was the guy who won Best Painted last year as well. And he brought also Sweden-themed painted Empire's army. A bit sad when you see someone like that. He's done the same thing, but he's done it way better than you have. But yeah.
Yeah, but he was up against Martin in one of the games. So I did manage to get a sneak peek of their game. And it looked like a really fun list.
Alright, so this game I'm also playing against the guy that I played in the last tournament. I'm playing against David, and we played last time as well. He's playing the same army this time. He's playing his vampire
is this the guy that has the Warcraft 3 themed vampire council?
Yeah, he does.
This army is amazing.
Yeah, I think the army is super cool, and he's a really good sport, really fun to play against. Last tournament, I cheated a little bit in the game I played against him, so I was really cautious this time to not make any mistakes, and I think we made it through without any problems.
And you're playing the same scenario, like there are 3 objectives in the midst of the table that you want to hold, to get additional bonus points on.
Yes. And here we are deploying, and he has like ghouls and stuff like that. A corpse cart that gives like it can give like always strike first and stuff like that. But the thing I fear the most is what he plays out now. He has his Terrorgeist, and he also has his General, which is a
it's the Anubarak model, the Scarab Lord on.
Yeah, but it is a Vampire Lord on a dragon. On a zombie dragon. So that was the things I was scared about, and the Terrorgeist can absolutely decimate things with the screening attack, the leadership test. So I was really scared about that one. As you can see, he's advancing. He's doing the no fear approach, just going all out. So and it's feeling really like I'm feeling like I'm being suffocated here. Like he's just going in with everything.
It's interesting to see that you didn't redeploy your Outriders.
No, I didn't do any Vanguard with them because I counted the distance, how long he can fly and scream.
Okay, so you wanted to keep
yeah, so that's why I want to keep them back. Here I did a charge onto his dogs, and the dogs is gonna get absolutely decimated, of course, but I end up a bit closer to his other units. I think that's the game plan he had, to make me approach him a little bit more.
Yeah, because if you make the mistake of overrunning, then you might get eaten up.
Yeah, and you can see here in the top part he has some bats. I shot most of them to pieces, and he has some dogs as well, still alive, but his bat is at least
I think he had a really cool idea, because I remember him explaining the idea and how he built his list, and he wanted it to be like thematically and like a good tournament list. So he had those Crypt Fiend looking dogs that he wanted to bring back, because they're kind of hard to deal with. If you get them in numbers.
And here you see I eat a flank charge as well, but I'm not too worried. This is against my, I think it's a halberdier, so great. No, it's a great swordsman, but it's not going to be a problem. But as you can see, he's really closing in here. He did make a movement mistake here, because he's kind of boxed himself in, so he can't charge. He can't get past me and charge if I decide to charge his unit here.
Because then it's gonna be blocking everything. But you need to win the combat then.
Yeah,
if you get a stalemate, then you are
then I have a problem. Yeah, but at least he can't charge in with his unit, even if I lose that combat, because he's blocked himself out.
And you're keeping your knights on the back row.
Yeah, but I did a big charge here against the Terrorgeist, and I'm gonna end his life. So I was really happy about that charge, because the Terrorgeist it's a mean, scary machine, I guess. But when he eats a flank charge by all of my knights, it's going away. And I also came in behind. I can't remember what that unit was, but it was like some single roaming stuff he brought, and
it's the Dreadlord looking model you're speaking about.
So you can see here I ate up the Terrorgeist. I charged in the flank on his other unit here, and he's still kind of boxed out. His unit here can't do anything because it's a bit behind. The same goes for the skeletons there in the back. Can't really do much. So this is one of the tricky things when you're playing big horde armies, is that you can easily put yourself in a spot where you can't really do anything about it.
But he is reaping in the rewards from all of the 3 objective points each turn, I think.
Yeah, and he's now in with his lord here against my units, and I get decimated here. I thought that I could make some wounds against that guy, but no.
That's the lesson from this tournament. Don't fight with a vampire lord.
I hate vampire lords. I will never fight a vampire lord again. But I thought I could win on combat resolution and stuff, but that's not going to happen, unfortunately. So those guys are going to get a bit decimated. But I'm sweeping in with all my other units here from the sides, and doing really well with my great swords.
It's looking grim from an observer's perspective, but
I'm winning this quite well, actually.
It's those like flank charges from your general on the knights, I presume.
Everything from the flanks can just come in and just decimate, because when I flank charge, like the skeletons here, they just crumble apart.
Yeah, they don't get any rank bonus, or they're disrupted.
Yeah.
So you managed to pick off your halberdiers there.
Yeah, he managed to pick them off, but I'm quite in a good spot to make a charge here again with my Luminarch of Hish, I believe.
But that one isn't really meant for fighting.
No, but if I get a charge against the corpse guard and I win the combat, then it just crumbles away. So it's quite nice against an arm like this. And my Outriders is charging here in the back as well. I ate a flank charge from his roaming unit, but since I hit against the unit, you see I absolutely decimate those guys. Yeah, and here I get into combat with his skeletons and all of his crypt ghouls and all of that stuff. And everything just kind of melts away, to be honest. He has his necromancer in the big unit here. So if that dies, then
the whole unit just needs to take that.
Then it's going to crumble. And since I just decimate everything here in the middle, I'm soon gonna catch up to that unit as well.
Yeah, but he still has his vampire lord.
Yeah, he still has the lord, but he's not in a position where he can charge anything because he's looking like off the board right now. And I still have the ability to charge in. So things are looking quite good for me here at this point, because now I get those out of the way and I'm in prime position to get in a really nice charge here. But here is the end of the game. We were only in round 4, I believe, but here it was time at this point. So the game is over here. But I win on points.
You had a really good composition score.
Yeah, I had a good comp score and I killed a bit more stuff than he did. And I won this 12-8. It was a fun game, really fun to play against David. I really like playing against him. He plays some super cool themed army. He's a fun opponent. So it was nice that we got a rematch.
Super friendly to chat with afterwards as well.
Yeah, and I'm happy that I didn't cheat this time, so I can finally get that like off my conscience that we played a fair game this time.
Yeah, and it looks like a good game as well.
Yeah, so we got my first win on the board for this tournament. Yeah. 2 losses, 1 win, 1 draw.
I had the pleasure of playing against Martin. Although I felt it was a bit unfortunate because there were so many awesome armies here, so many awesome people, and I got to play with one of the home guys.
Yeah, that was quite fun. Fun to play against Martin, but I get your point. It's nice to play against new people. And there were so many people at the tournament that said, I really want to play Dogs of War. And so far you've gotten 1 buy, and now we're going to play against one of our club players. Yeah. So people were a bit disappointed that they couldn't play against the dogs.
Yeah, because they're such a different army. But I hope to be back with them in the future setup. I don't think that they'll be possible to play within the Triple Crown system. They don't have any comp scores available to them, and they are kind of a bit iffy on some of the units. But anyways, I was deploying against Martin. Here we were playing against Heavens Collide, I think. To play it, you have 3 objectives at the center line of the table. And you score 100 points for each objective that you are able to hold. And with Martin having his Beastman army, he was deploying basically in such a manner that he would be able to take everything. And I would have a really hard time.
Yeah, because Martin's army, he has no shooting, he has very little spell casting. It's just melee, Minotaur Bus, all hands on deck.
Yeah, but that Minotaur Bus, on the other hand, that is a scary unit. That Doom Ball in the front, which stacks up additional attacks, that really quickly gets out of hand.
Yeah, every time it wins combat, it gains 1 extra attack, I believe.
The longer it's locked in melee, the worse it gets. And it's absolutely terrifying to fight against.
yes. But it's a really fun army that he has built, and he really went all out on the melee. I played against that army at the practice tournament that we had, and
we got into I deployed defensively in the top left side of the board, and then I had some crossbowmen which I deployed at the lower side of the table to possibly get some shots off against his weaker units and see if I could contest any objectives that he otherwise possibly might want to just park a single model at or single unit at. In return, Martin allocated a chariot, 2 hound units and an Angor unit there, so I was outmatched for sure. If he wanted to push me, I would have a really hard time defending it. But yeah, deployment is what it is. I was somewhat happy with the rest of the deployment anyways, because that big rock in the middle of the upper side is impassable, so he would have a hard time getting all of his units onto my side with a really favorable position.
Yeah, that's kind of a problem with playing really big horde armies, is that you kind of block yourself after a while. It's really hard to maneuver your own units without being in the way. And I can see Martin here, he like barely has space to move his stuff around.
Yeah, but he did take the early initiative. After the first round, he was on all of the objectives basically. He was just short a few inches of getting the upper two in the first round. In the second turn, he was on all 3 of them. And I did get a couple of good shots in. I had my Galloper guns that were lining up shots against his Minotaurs. And all the whilst he was pushing forward with everything he had. And then I kind of lucked out.
Yep.
I don't remember if it was a miscast, but I remember rolling really, really exceptionally good. I think it was like something like 6, 5, 5, 4, 4 or something with my level 4 of Heavens. And getting one of those, the advanced version of Compt of Cassandora.
Yeah.
And
that can really mess someone's day up.
It can really mess someone's day up. So it was in the midst of the table, and Martin was left with a really, really hard choice. Do I go forward and risk eating the comet, or do I stay like out of range for it 1 turn?
Yeah.
And as I remember it, he tried to like choose the defensive play and not eat it like directly. But I got the I started stacking up additional counters on it. So it was like 2 counters, 4 counters, 6 counters, and eventually he had to push forward because his guys are good at fighting, and what do you do? It's like I had super lucky magic rods.
And then the comet came down, I guess.
Yeah, the comet came down, and it came down hard. It basically decimated the Angor unit, so that there were basically no fighting force left with the middlemost unit. There were still some Minotaurs left standing, and they advanced over to my side. They wrecked my Galloper gun. He wrecked my pikemans. Like all of them were dead, and the only thing that I had left were my knights and my Pirassos Lost Legion and my level 4 wizard that had managed to reposition herself. Unfortunately, that was probably enough for me to be able to turn the tides of battle, because the thing that Martin also had a bit unfortunate or bad luck with was his dice rolls, because when Beastman armies get to start rolling those panic tests, panic quickly spreads, and we had a really good fun game. I still think it was a close game still, and if the meteor hadn't been that devastating, I think Martin would have taken this game. But since it did land, it changed the game fundamentally, and I picked home a win with 13-7.
Nice for the dogs to get on the board.
Yeah, but I feel for Martin. His panic rolls. I have never seen anything after the game. Just to make a point, he was like, "Okay, Jonas, check out my dice rolls," and then he rolled 6-5, 6-6. No, it was even worse. It was double 6, double 6, double 6, and then 6-5.
Yeah,
and then I was like, "Yeah." This is what I've been experiencing the whole day.
Yeah, you want to roll like that when you're rolling to hit or to wound, but not when rolling panic tests. Then it's not great. So Martin was also a bit angry at his dice after this game.
Yeah. You two should have swapped.
Yeah, we should have swapped dice.
Then we had a real drudge game, the 5th worst opponent of.
Yeah, I had also had a really shitty opponent in game 5. He was not really nice. I wish I wouldn't play someone else.
But let's get into it. It's one of those tournament things. For the standings, we have Vampire Counts in the lead and Beastman right behind them at a score of 65 versus 68. And that's our final table. Those two are gonna fight it out.
Yeah, we have some guys trailing at around 50 points, but these guys are way ahead at this point.
Yeah, they had some solid 20-0 results in there. But as we said, we have a grudge match. We have us two fighting it out.
We have the final game. we had to face each other, so.
It's always fun to play against humans, but for this day.
Yeah, we play each other a lot, so I would have been happy to play someone else. But we had a really interesting game, so it was not all for nothing.
Definitely not. And this final scenario is battle lines once again, so we are just trying to duke it out like we did previously.
And you deploy one unit closest to us here in the corner, and I start deploying there, and you kind of trick me, and then you place everything in the upper corner instead.
But I think that was a deployment mistake of mine, because I calculated that your Organ Guns has a range of 24.
Yeah.
And your Musketman has a range of 24. My Galloper Guns is gonna outrange you. My Stone Thrower is gonna outrange you. The only thing that I can't really deal with is if you get into melee.
Yeah. And you have a higher comp than me, and that means that I have to make something happen, otherwise I'm just gonna lose on points. So I take the first turn here, and I'm gonna start advancing quite aggressively against your corner up here. So everything is going to war.
Yeah, and I think you quickly realized what my game plan was about. You noticed that I'm gonna be passive. I'm gonna try to stay at my side and shoot at you and just let the timer run out. No. So you pushed everything from war machines and everything.
Everything was going. this was going to die. But then we get into your first turn, and things kind of gonna take a turn for the worse here when you try to cast a comment of. Comment of
Cassandra. It's my signature spell. It's my one trick, I realize.
Yeah, but
it's effective. It's really, really effective. And I do manage to get it. I get the big version.
Yeah, and you get it, and you place it like just in front of my units here in the middle of the table.
And I think once again I get one of those disgusting dice rolls.
Yeah,
like, super high.
Yeah, it was way too high.
Yeah, and no like miscasts.
No, it was like 6-5-5-5-5 or something. Something absolutely disgusting. And then I kind of had to make a choice. Like, do I rush forward here through the comment, or do I wait, or what? Yeah, what do I do? But I realized quite quickly that the comment was gonna hit too big, so I'm just gonna try to run through it and hope for the best. Or I take a turn with some units, but some of them kind of march straight to it.
And I try to keep you where you are, because I have my Bronzino deployed up front. He's my foremost unit, so he's gonna take the hero role and try to run up and stop your knights from getting over to my field.
Yeah, so Bronzino is
because,
there.
Now you're moving up. You have I think by now the meteor failed to land.
Yeah, I'm standing in the middle of the meteor here with my knights.
And it failed to land, so you're just like...
Yeah.
So I'm gonna like... Yeah. If you can avoid the dice roll on my turn, it's gonna be really good.
Yeah, I feel like I'm tightening the noose a bit here. Like I'm a bit afraid from getting shot by your knights, but I feel like my knight's in a great position if you take the comment out the equation.
Yeah. And if I whiff on it, if I roll a double one on the range or something else, it's gonna be like your victory for sure. So I'm banking on that spell. It needs to come down.
Yeah, it needs to land. And now you see Bronzino is in combat. He's
I don't remember. I think I lined him up so that if you charge him, you're gonna be somewhat out of position.
Yeah, you lined it up so I have to charge him, and I'm gonna be a little bit out of position. So I'm basically gonna lose a turn there. Yeah.
So Bronzino is still on the table, waiting for things to happen. You actually reposition your crossbowmen. They are gonna get into the tower in the middle.
Yeah, and I got into combat with your knights as well, with my...
that charge was really frustrating for me, because I tried to charge you, so I went up and got out of position, rolled some terrain tests, and lost...
I got the charge instead of you.
That's the crucial part, you getting the charge.
Yeah, but the Bronzino dodged the bullet here. I was charging him with all my knights, and then the comment came down, and he just erased all of the knights.
And Bronzino was like half an inch from getting hit himself.
Yeah.
So he's just standing there, but that just happened.
Yeah, so that was a bit problematic. What's gonna be... So I've lost my general at this point. My general is dead. But my great swords are beating your knights to death.
Yeah. And I make one crucial mistake here. I should have allocated as many attacks as I possibly could into your priest.
Yeah, probably should have,
the battle priest is it's such a powerful unit if you don't like think about it and deal with it, because getting those hatred rerolls and then you have those prayer spells.
Yeah, it's a disgusting unit. 65 points. It's so good.
Super
so
effective.
good.
As long as it doesn't get killed too early.
And here the knights got killed, and I managed to get into combat with another one of your units, and then you charge in with your paymaster, I think, your general. And
right now you are in combat with my bodyguard and paymaster.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that, okay, I'm probably not winning this, but I'm probably like being able to fight, because the Midas Demine, which is my paymaster, has these strength 4 bodyguards with halberds, meaning that they hit at strength 5. So they should be able to deal with your full plate.
Yeah. But the thing is, when you have great swords with rerolls and all of that stuff with your prayers, it got disgusting.
They deal damage.
Yeah. So what happens is I wipe these guys out, and when the paymaster dies, you have to take like a leadership test, right?
Yeah. Every unit in the Dogs of War army is a mercenary, and if the paymaster is gone off the table, whom is left to pay the salaries?
Yeah. No.
So yeah, and
as you can see here, Jonas is failing leadership tests left and right. It was absolutely disgusting.
I think like the only loyal unit I had left was those Lost Legion in the lower right corner.
Yeah,
they stay there the whole game.
Yeah, Jonas general didn't make the leadership test and ran off the table because he was standing at the edge of the board.
I think if the general alone would have been left, I might have like had a slightly better chance of like doing something.
Yeah, but after this point, you have almost nothing left.
Yeah,
you have
and I have my block of pikemans because they are immune psychology, so they don't need to take or they automatically pass the leadership test. But since your great swords are there, and they are left without any support, you kill them off.
Yeah, the great swords eat those guys for breakfast, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I did manage to like. Your great swords are down to just a few models, but they are still victorious.
Yeah, but what you did something very good is that you delayed my halberdiers. They never got into the game because of the comment.
Yeah.
So they were basically useless.
But I think it was a good match once again between us two. Like evenly matched. I think we have these kind of interesting scenarios where we have our game plans. Yeah. We play a like tactical game. And then something goofy happens.
Yeah, but you had the comment, and the comment really messed up my game plans. I lost my general, I lost all of that. You got another comment later that hit my Luminark of Fish and picked that out. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. Then I got to win the great swords, and when you
like you win combat, you win those charge rolls, you win those crucial moments.
Yeah, and you fail all your leadership tests, so this could easily have gone your way, but. One failed charge with the horses. I succeed a long one with my great swords, and the game is on its head.
Yeah, and that's still like I might sound salty about it, but I kind of like it. That variance really adds to the game. Coping mechanism.
Yeah, but in the end, it was quite close game still, right? It was like. Was it 11-9 or 12-8?
Yeah. Like it was a like you got up a few positions of it, and I finished with 9-11.
Yeah, so it was still a really close game, and I think the strategy that you had, turtling in the back, was a good one. The only thing we talked about was maybe your horses was maybe not mobile enough where they were.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about those.
Possibly I should have picked the other side, because the forest was a venom thicket. That should have benefited me, because then all my pikemans get poisoned attacks. But what happened was when your greatswords came into them, they broke. And had to run through the venom thicket, and then I lost just a bunch more guys.
Yeah, but what I learned after seeing your games, like playing Lore of Heavens with the Comet, it seems really good. Like that spell is so good, especially when you're playing against someone who doesn't have this spell scroll, which I didn't have this tournament.
I think so as well. Like level 4 wizard with Lore of Heavens, that's a real like powerful spell to be fearful of. But the downside is that you are required to use at least 4 dice to cast it. Otherwise, you don't have any good statistical chance of getting it off. And in the magic phase, your opponent is going to be saving up the defensive dice to use against it. And the rest of the Lore of Heavens isn't really all that great.
But it was a great game. All the games we played were great. I had a shitty last opponent, but other than that, it was great fun.
Yeah, and like you spoke well about the first tournament you went to, and I'm easily seeing myself trying to figure out the next list for the next tournament.
Yeah, we're already planning on going, of course, and slowly building our lists and discussing some tactics and how we can build since there's a new comp system. And yeah, I'm super excited for next time. And if you're in Sweden or have the possibility of going to this tournament, you should. You 100% should.
And even if you don't have, you might be traveling, you might not want to bring an army, just come by, say hi, trade a few models of the trading table, and just see some good old world game. Yeah. So with that, are we happy with the result, Måns?
Yeah, we definitely are. Definitely are. But the experience was amazing. It was so much fun.
I agree. When like a couple of days afterwards, I couldn't stop thinking about my army. Like, why did I do it like this?
Jonas started writing a new list in the car on the way back. So yeah, it was
perhaps a bit salty from. Yeah, I'm gonna pick this then.
Yeah, you're writing it like the meanest list possible. Yeah, but it was loads of fun. The results were not amazing. We wanted to have done better, but. I mean, we had
André, and it was really fun rooting for him at the end. I think that his Chaos Dwarfs list was really interesting.
Yeah, he's still claiming that he did better result than me. He had more points, but I had more. I had more wins, losses, and draws than he did. So I feel like I'm a winner, at least in my heart.
You'll have to talk to André about it.
Yeah, I guess so. According to the tournament rules, he did win over me, unfortunately. But it was loads of fun. We definitely, all of us 4 that went, want to go the next time as well. So I guess that says something about the event, that everyone that we have gone with has wanted to go back again. So it is really lots of fun.
Yeah, and I'm really understanding why people are so attached to 8th edition as is. Yeah. I mean, the old world has potential. It could be great, but then again, the game is already great.
Yeah, 8th edition is already great. I agree. So as long as the 8th edition tournament scene is alive and well, and we're having fun, we'll keep playing, of course.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm super hyped for 8th edition at the moment, I must say.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to try out the Triple Crown comp system for the next.
Yeah, the next tournament is playing Triple Crown, which is an easier comp system. Not as harsh.
I'm reluctant to use the word easier. It's a different comp system.
Yeah, but I think it's easier to build a list, at least. It's more complicated.
You do the Swedish comp system does frown a bit upon war machines. So when we went this time, there weren't really that many cannons and other units that you might otherwise see at regular 8th edition games.
Yeah.
And in the Triple Crown comp systems, I guess that we're gonna see a bunch more of that kind of war machines that we need to adapt to.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Because the only cannons I played against was yours. I didn't see that many cannons other than that, because they are severely punished in 8th.
So that might be interesting in the army building, the metagaming, what kind of lists are we expecting to see, and how do you plan ahead for that thing that you can't know beforehand.
So we are building our lists at this moment. We don't want to talk yet about what we're playing the next time. But
I'm gonna probably try Ogre Kingdoms.
Yeah,
I think.
I might play Empire. I might have another army up my sleeve. I'm always painting new stuff, so there might be some new stuff coming. But we also want to take this opportunity to thank the organizers and the people we met at the tournament.
Yeah, thank you a bunch to every people that we played with, and also to the people that we didn't get the opportunity to play with.
Yeah, everyone was super kind. There was no problem with us filming and it was super
Yeah,
nice
a bunch of
atmosphere.
awesome people willing to show off their amazing armies and talk Warhammer and have a blast.
Yeah, it was loads of fun. Yeah. So everyone who was attending the tournament that are watching this, thank you for providing us with a great weekend, and hopefully we'll see you all
at the next.
Yeah, in February if everything goes as planned.
Yeah. But with that, we'll lead you with the awards ceremony and some closing thoughts and scenes from the tournament.
Ja.
Då är vi klara för idag. År. Vi börjar med bingon. Alex drog ju bingobrickan innan han drog. Det var ju bra. Men bingoraden drog ju David. Woo!
Kommer du ihåg vilka var du klara?
Det var den högra raden.
Vänta, du tappade din general i första matchen.
Ja, det var fel också.
Min general var odödlig.
Sen har vi Best Painted. Måste jag säga att jävlar vad bra målat det är. Alltså, fy fan vad många olika röster det var. Det brukar det inte vara. Och mycket poäng på dem också. Så ja, det var jävligt jämnt. Men längst drog Erik Nyqvist. Woo! Och sen hoppar vi raskt över till bästa tema. Och Jimmy H. Att du inte skulle gå hem på den här pokalen.
Nu får man ta en seger.
Precis. Sen då, ranking och ladders, så som sagt battle points var det i år. Topp 5 så har vi på 5:e plats på 64 poäng Niklas. Fjärde plats 66 poäng Micke. Så har vi toppstriden då, och det var tajt. Men på tredje plats med 75 poäng Jakob. Andra plats 76 poäng.
En poängsskillnad.
En poängsskillnad alltså. Martin kommer.
Ja, vad sa vi?
500 blir bra. Och vinnare då på 78 poäng.
2 poängsskillnad.
Jocke! Tack själv. Och så har vi stora...
Speech!
Tal!
Ja,
Hur känns det?
Mycket flyt. Mycket flyt.
Viktade
Det är mest
tärningar.
Warhammer i hela Sverige. Så att...
Faktiskt. Där har vi det. Nej men... 2.20 alltså jag inte... Ja, var ju för sent av dem kanske. Men de kom inte så lätt som man skulle tro. Nej men grymt. PC.
Sen har vi finpriset. Sportsmanship. Och där har vi Anton S. Men överlag så var det jävligt jämnt på sportsmanship-röstningen. Och det var ganska jämnt överlag. Det var några som Anton, ja det var inte med mycket. Så ja, det var allt vi hade för i år.
Tack för ett fantastiskt arrangemang.
Ja,
en tävling kvar och det är röstningen om absolut sexigaste arrangör. Tyvärr så är det delad vinst på 0 poäng. Niklas och Daniel. Och nu är jag inte helt säker på att jag kommer ihåg vilken av de här som var vilken. För att den ena gjorde min sambo väldigt mycket extravagant och jag vet inte. Jag tror det var så här. Så det där är till en kommande armé. Och där hoppas jag är till hjälp med en redan uppstartad. 1000.
Ska de öppnas på julafton?
I think it goes into. Yeah. So are we happy with that? I think so. I'm happy.
Yeah, then let's go. Then let's go.